Welcome to On Air with Kash. Our guest today is an actor, singer, songwriter, and dancer. She's a true quadruple threat. She received 3 gold records in the past year during the quarantine. She recently landed the role in the feature film Ted Bundy, American Boogeyman. It's coming out September 3rd. Please welcome Gianna Adams.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me, Kash. I'm so excited.
Gianna, it is such a pleasure to have you on the show. 3 gold records, a feature film with a pretty big ensemble cast. How do you do it?
I don't know how I do it. Honestly, you just, life throws things and you try to catch the right ball, I guess, just set up your shots right, But yeah, it's been cool. It's been an adventure. This last year, to say the least, has been the craziest adventure of them all, I think, for all of us in total. So it's been kind of crazy learning to navigate all of that on top of navigating career and life and on top of a global pandemic craziness. So it's been crazy, but good.
You were so productive during this quarantine. After you wrote your first hit song at the age of 5, you've starred in feature films. You attend Berklee College. You were part of the GRAMMY Camp. You were one of 10 songwriters chosen at the summer USC program. You've been on a roll and accomplished so much at a very young age.
Thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, it's been cool. I think I've surrounded myself with people that are all also doing crazy things. So even hearing you say all that, I'm like, oh wow, that's weird that I've done those things. You know what I mean? Like, you're just kind of in the flow of it and like constantly looking for new things and other stuff. And it's been very cool. I'm very fortunate and very blessed with everything that has come so far.
Incredible. Do you want to talk to us about your songwriting process and any of your current and upcoming music that you have coming out?
Sure. Songwriting process. It's such a fun topic, I guess. I'm like a dweeb songwriter brain, so like I could talk about it for 1,000 years. But I think that I don't really know what my process is. I guess it depends. It depends on if I'm working by myself or in a collaborative situation or kind of what we're going for. Fortunately, during the pandemic, I've been writing with someone that I've written with for years. He's kind of a steady writing partner of mine. And for example, when we're writing for him, I'm in a room writing for someone else. So that process is a whole nother ball game of like, what do you want to say? Like, what is your emotion today? What are you going through? Like, what is the message we want your audience to hear? And what style are they gonna like that kind of thing. When I'm writing by myself, it's a lot more introspective and personal, I guess, as writers are. So a lot of my own music is like in a random room of my house or outside under a tree somewhere and just like reflecting on something that I'm passionate about telling a story about. But I would say kind of the consistent theme with writing is that I think it's all about a story. I think a lot of music today is very about like being trendy and hip and all that, which I am totally for and I love it so much. But I think some of the best music of all time is those stories that you listen to and it's like someone totally just gets you so much and you hear it and it's like that safe place for you. Like, we all have those songs that you hear and it's just like either it knows exactly what you're going through somehow, or it reminds you of one of the most precious moments or worst moments, or anything that makes you feel something. Like, I think my goal as a writer in general is to just be able to tell stories to people and just make you feel something. I think that's the most important part of music, honestly.
Oh, you said it, and I totally agree with what you're saying in all aspects, where you just hear that song, it totally relates to something I'm going through. I'm like, oh man, there's so much clarity, and then it makes you feel energized, like, yeah, I'm gonna take on the world now.
Yeah, and it makes you not feel alone. I think that I know me, I am addicted to music, but in any single situation, like, music is what you turn to on the best days while you're driving down the road with your best friends, like having a great day, or on those days where you're just completely just down and stuck and don't know what to turn to or whatever it is. Like, it's a constant, I think, and something that everyone can depend on no matter what. Like, that it's almost like a friend that you can always go to in any mood, kind of. And I think especially through the last year of like being in so much solitude and separated from people and all that stuff, like, we've been missing that and kind of dependent on it. Like, if I didn't have music or like great content to watch on TV or like or those types of art to kind of turn to and like have company with during the last year. I mean, I think we'd all go crazy. So it gave like a new respect for getting to do that and wanting to do it and all that stuff.
I love music, but I've always been more cinematic. So when I listen to a good song, but more for me, it's like when I just see a good movie and there's a character that that I can identify with, or that's going through something. And I love stuff that makes you think, whether it's a good drama, a good comedy, or just good lyrics. It's just, wow, you kind of put it out there. I was going through this emotion, and then this song or this piece of content or art that I watched and observed just really helped me get some clarity on this.
Yes, I totally agree. Same with film and television and all of it. Like the best shows, you get so attached to those characters because you find like little pieces of either people or yourself or whatever in them, like it's a really powerful and amazing thing. I totally agree.
Oh yes, and speaking of good shows and good movies, we got to talk about Ted Bundy, American Boogeyman. So what was it like auditioning, getting this role, and when did you film it?
Actually, okay, so I auditioned for this virtually. It was kind of, I'm trying to remember timeline wise. I don't think we were quite in a pandemic yet, but it was just still like a lot of auditions are virtual, things like that. So the audition process was literally from a room in my house with my friend. So that was kind of super cool. I booked the project based off the tape. So that was kind of the sum of that. And we filmed during the pandemic, as a matter of fact. So they were actually one of the first projects during the pandemic to get the green light to go ahead and film. So it was very crazy. Like you show up to set, you have to COVID test, you have to have your mask on, everybody is socially distanced. All like everything is so strategic and cautious, and do your own hair and makeup and we'll touch you up with a mask. Like everyone is very, very cautious and being very safe and courteous to the world surroundings going on. But it was so exciting to get to do it even with all of that and get to come, and everyone's tested, so everyone's safe, and we're all there to make art in the middle of chaos. Like it was so amazing. The cast and crew was literally phenomenal and so sweet and the best people to work with ever. The director Daniel was awesome, and so I went and we did like a night shoot at this pizza place, and we literally shot till like 6 a.m, and it was so much fun. One of my favorite stories from shooting actually was I had to smoke a cigarette as my character, and I've literally never been near a cigarette ever. As a matter of fact, I'm not a fan of them personally. So they like props had handed me it, and they're like, all right, so you're gonna walk out and you're just gonna light that up and go ahead. It's like, I have no idea how to do this. Like, I didn't know how to work the lighter. It was like so embarrassing. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I apologize. I'm here to act. I don't know this whole smoking action. And Chad Michael Murray, who played Ted, as a matter of fact, most down to earth, one of the most talented people I've had the privilege of working with, truly, literally appeared from a corner and was like totally just telling me stories about things that he had done and taught me how to do it. And I'm sitting there with the director and him, and everyone's just so like hands-on and involved in the project, and like sharing all of their stories about their creative input and how much work they did to get here and their inspiration for it all and all that stuff. It was phenomenal. I wouldn't have traded the experience for the world. I had so much fun. We actually got to see it last week in theaters. It premiered. So that was really fun. And I'm officially scared of Chad now because he did such a phenomenal job as Ted Bundy. I still haven't quite let go of that yet. I still am a little frightened of him, which props to him. That's so good. But yeah, it's definitely creepy. I think there's been some other movies done about him, like you said, with The Charm and all of those things that made him him. And this one is the most center focused on the actual grit and like disturbingness of him and his story. I feel like some of the other ones are a little more focused on like the romanticism of him as a person, which is totally part of it. But I think this one freaked me out the most because it's all based off of like the detectives that found him and the pursuit of how he went about like getting these women and stuff. So it definitely will keep you up at night a little bit, but it's great, especially if you're interested in stuff like that. Like it's cool.
I'm with you. I'm always watching Forensic Files. I'm just really fascinated with how they solve crimes and yeah, how even just there, I was just watching something the other night where it was a 30-year-old case, and because of new technology and new DNA, they were able to prove something. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a fan of horror thrillers. I'm really excited for this movie. I mean, Gianna, I really can't thank you enough for being here today. I'm really excited for you, for your career. You've accomplished so much already. 3 gold records. You've really just been on a roll with your music, and you have this new movie, Ted Bundy, American Boogeyman, with Chad Michael Murray, coming out September 3rd. Everyone follow Gianna right now. Go and see and get American Boogeyman on demand when it premieres on September 3rd. Gianna, again, I thank you so much for your time, and just keep going on this incredible journey you're on.
Thank you, Kash. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for your amazing show. You're so personable and awesome, and I wish you all the best in your career and all that stuff. I'm so glad that I got to talk to you today. I appreciate it a lot.
I appreciate your time, and I can't wait to have you on again when you're premiering your next big hit.
Woo! I hope so. Can't wait.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Gianna Adams today. You are on air with Kash.